We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Stalemate continues in US government shutdown after Democrats stand firm on healthcare demands. Trump doubles down on mass firing threats. Democrats warn such move would not stand up to legal scrutiny. India condemns the terror attack on Manchester synagogue after the terror incident leaves 2 dead. External Affairs Ministry says terror on the International Day of Non-Violence saddening. President Vladimir Putin says global economy can't function without Russian oil, warns that prices would jump to over $100 per barrel if its supplies were cut off, vows response to European threats as tensions flare. And in sports, India's Mirabai Chanu clinches a silver at World Weightlifting Championship in Norway, ends 3-year wait for medal in the competition. And on to the details now. Stalemate continues in US government shutdown after Democrats stand firm on healthcare demands. Now, US President Donald Trump warned that federal workers could be fired and projects cut if a government shutdown continues. In an interview to US news channel, Trump said he has threatened mass layoffs and proposed to make irreversible changes to important Democratic programs.
Firings, and that's their fault, and it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut. So you could say, a lot of people are saying Trump wanted this, that I wanted this closing, and I didn't want it. But a lot of people are saying it because I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place, and I will probably do that.
While taking the government shutdown as an opportunity, Trump is looking to reshape the federal workforce and punish the detractors. Now, Trump posted on social media saying he's focusing on which Democratic agencies can be slashed. Well, the shutdown began on Wednesday after Republicans and Democrats in Congress failed to agree a new spending plan. Now, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said the Democrats are open to talks but need credible partners. The next Senate vote to try and end the shutdown will not be held until Friday.
This is day 2 of Donald Trump's shutdown, but it's day 256 of the chaos that the Trump presidency has unleashed on the American people. Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans. House Democrats continue to be here on duty. House Republicans are on vacation. We are ready, we are willing, we are able to sit down with anyone, anytime, any place, including the president and the vice president, to try to find a path forward, to reopen the government, enact a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people, while at the same time addressing the Republican health care crisis.
Well, this is the first government shutdown in almost 7 years. The government shutdowns, the 15th since 1981, has led to the suspension of scientific research, economic data reports, and a wide range of other activities. Also, the U.S. government layoffs could be in the thousands. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said on Thursday as the federal government began the second day of the shutdown. Now, the government shutdown has suspended scientific research, financial oversight, economic data reports, and a wide range of other activities. Some 750,000 federal workers have been ordered not to work, while others, such as troops and Border Patrol agents, are ordered to work without pay.
It's likely going to be in the thousands. It's a very good question, and that's something that the Office of Management and Budget and the entire team at the White House here, again, is unfortunately having to work on today. These discussions and these conversations, these meetings would not be happening if the Democrats had voted to keep the government open.
And in the latest in the terrorist attack at British synagogue, police said on Thursday that the suspect of the deadly attack outside a synagogue in Manchester in northern England was believed to be Jihad al-Shami, a 35-year-old British citizen of Syrian descent. Now, al-Shami was shot dead by armed officers after ramming a car into pedestrians and stabbing at least one person near a synagogue during Yom Kippur. The police added that 3 suspects, 2 men in their 30s and a woman in her 60s, were currently in custody and have been arrested on suspicion of commission, preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism. A suspicious device worn by the attacker during the incident has been assessed and was deemed not to be viable. 2 men were pronounced dead following the incident and 3 other men remain in hospital with serious injuries. Police investigation continues to understand the motivation behind the attack as the investigation continues. Meanwhile, security has been tightened around the synagogues in Los Angeles area on Thursday as worshippers marked Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Police would increase patrols around synagogues and Jewish community centers across Los Angeles in advance of the Jewish high holy days. There would be increased visibility in neighborhoods, synagogues, schools and community centers to deter crime and provide reassurance. And India on Thursday condemned the deadly terror attack on a synagogue in British Manchester and said it is yet another grim reminder of the challenge the world is facing with the evil forces of terrorism. ME spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal took to social media X and said, and I quote, "We condemn the terror attack on the Heaton Park synagogue in Manchester during Yom Kippur services today. It is particularly saddening that this heinous act was committed on the International Day of Non-Violence. This attack is yet another grim reminder of the challenge we face from the evil forces of terrorism, which the global community must combat and defeat through united and concerted action." He said India's thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families and the city of Manchester. India stands in solidarity with the people of the United Kingdom in this moment of grief, unquote. And the UN Secretary-General has strongly condemned the deadly terrorist attack in Manchester too. Deputy spokesperson Farhan Haq at United Nations headquarters expressed concern over the alarming rise in anti-Semitism worldwide and stressed the urgent need to confront hatred and intolerance in all their forms.
The Secretary-General strongly condemns today's deadly terrorist attack on a synagogue in Manchester in the United Kingdom. Houses of worship are sacred places where people can go to find peace. Targeting a synagogue on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, is particularly heinous. The Secretary-General extends his deepest condolences to the victims and their families and wishes a swift recovery to the injured. He stands in solidarity with the Jewish community and calls for those responsible to be brought to justice. The Secretary-General is deeply concerned by the alarming rise in anti-Semitism worldwide and stresses the urgent need to confront hatred and intolerance in all their forms.
Well, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday that the global economy would suffer without Russian oil. He was speaking at the Valdai Discussion Club, a Russian think tank and discussion forum at Sochi in southern Russia. Now, the statement came as U.S. President Donald Trump has urged other nations to stop buying Russian oil in order to reduce Moscow's ability to fund its war in Ukraine. Putin warned that prices would jump to over $100 per barrel if its supplies were cut off.
Whatever happens, I am convinced that the global sector will be working in a sustainable way because the global economy is growing. The demand in primary energy sources such as uranium for nuclear power stations, oil, gas, coal will be increasing. And that means global markets will in any case be consuming these energy resources.
And Russian president said that Moscow's forces were advancing on multiple fronts in Ukraine and brushed off a comment from US President Donald Trump describing Russia as a paper tiger.
As for
the paper tiger thing, I have already told you that Russia has been fighting not with Ukraine and the Ukrainian armed forces, but with all the NATO countries for all these years. Our troops are advancing almost across the entire front. In the north, the group north of the Russian armed forces, the village of Yunakivka in the Sumy region has just been taken under our control, and a half of the town of Vovchansk in the Kharkiv region has been captured. I think it is a matter of time. Our soldiers will take the second half. We are creating there a security zone.
Юнаковка только что поставлена.
Well, Putin also promised a significant response to Europe's militarization. Relations between Russia and the EU spiraled downward after Moscow sent troops into Ukraine, leading the bloc to bolster its defense. Drone incidents in Denmark and aerial incursions from Moscow in Estonia and Poland have heightened fears that Russia's war against Ukraine could spill over Europe's borders. Also, Putin accused Europe of stoking hysteria to excuse rising military spending and said Russia did not pose a threat. While commenting on potential supplies of U.S. long-range missiles Tomahawk to Ukraine, Putin warned this would worsen already battered relations between Moscow and Washington.
It's dangerous. As for Tomahawks, they are a powerful weapon. Granted, they are not exactly modern anymore, but they are powerful and pose a threat. And of course, this won't change the balance of power on the battlefield at all.
Also, President Putin condemned France's detention of a Russian-linked ship as piracy, vowing a significant response to what he called European threats as tension flared. Now, the Russian leader's warning came after the French Navy on Saturday detained and boarded an oil tanker that has been blacklisted by the European Union for being part of Russia's sanction-busting shadow fleet. At this stage, the vessel is only being investigated over inconsistencies in where it was officially registered.
This is piracy. I am familiar with this case. The tanker was seized in international waters without any justification, and they were apparently searching for some kind of cargo, maybe military equipment, drones, or something similar. There's nothing there, and there never was, and there can't be. And the tanker is indeed flying the flag of a third country, and the crew is international.
Под флагом.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday hailed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, calling him a wise leader. Speaking at the plenary session of the Valdai Discussion Club in Sochi, Putin mentioned that India and Russia both share a special relationship. Putin, as quoted by Russia Today, said people in India do not forget about India-Russia relations. He added that some 15 years ago, both nations made an announcement about a privileged strategic partnership, and that is the best description. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Prime Minister condoles the loss of lives in an accident at Khandwa, Madhya Pradesh, announces ex gratia from PM NRF. Celebrating 11 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's monthly radio program, Man Ki Baat. And in a Ahmedabad test, India in commanding position against the West Indies. Details after the break. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, India and China will resume direct air services by the end of October, aligning with the winter schedule. The civil aviation authorities of the two countries have been engaged in discussions on resuming direct air services between the two countries and on a revised air services agreement. Now, following these discussions, it has now been agreed that direct air services connecting designated points in India and China can resume by late October. This agreement will facilitate people-to-people contacts between India and China, contributing to the gradual normalization of bilateral exchanges. Meanwhile, Indigo is set to reconnect India with mainland China. Starting October 26th, the carrier will resume daily non-stop flights between Kolkata and Guangzhou. Indigo will deploy its Airbus A320neo aircraft on the route with plans to launch a Delhi-Guangzhou service once approvals come through. And in a tragic incident in central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, at least 11 people, including children, died after a tractor trolley carrying 14 devotees fell off a small bridge into the river in Khandwa district on Thursday. The devotees were returning from Durga idol immersion when the accident occurred. Rescue efforts were launched immediately after the accident, with police, administrative officials and locals rushing to the site. A JCB machine was deployed to pull the trolley out. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief over the incident and announced financial assistance for the kin of the deceased. Well, in a condolence message on social media platform X, Prime Minister Modi said he was deeply saddened by the loss of lives. The Prime Minister announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees from PMNRF would be given to the next of kin of each deceased. The injured would be given 50,000 rupees. Also, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Yadav expressed grief over the incident and announced ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees each for the families of the deceased. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat completes 11 years. The program continues to inspire, educate and empower millions. Watch this special report by DD India's Tripti Tripathi.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, नमस्कार।
Since its launch in October 2014, Mann Ki Baat has become a landmark platform for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to directly connect with the people of India.
बेंगलुरु से सिस्टर सुरेखा जी भी जुड़ी हुई।
I am really proud and honored, sir, to speak to Prime Minister of our country.
दिनेश जी नमस्कार।
सर जी प्रणाम।
Beginning on Vijay Dashami, the monthly broadcast has touched millions of lives. Every episode brings stories of inspiration from rural development and social reforms to unsung heroes shaping the nation. Over the years, the program, aired on All India Radio and Doordarshan, has gone beyond being just a broadcast. It recognizes collective efforts happening across society and gives them a national platform.
देश की बेटियां हर जगह अपना परचम लहरा रही है। दिलना और रूपा, आपसे मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि आपकी जो सागर परिक्रमा में आपका एक्सपीरियंस देश सुनना चाहता है।
मेमोरेबल मोमेंट में बोलना चाहती हूँ सर कि हमने भारत की झंडा पॉइंट नीमो पर लहराया सर।
What started as a simple radio program has transformed into a people's movement. Campaigns like Vocal for Local and Har Ghar Tiranga gained momentum after being featured on Mann Ki Baat. When the program completed its 100th episode in April 2023, Prime Minister Narendra Modi remarked that any issue raised here soon takes shape of a mass movement.
मेरे लिए मन की बात ये एक कार्यक्रम नहीं है। मेरे लिए एक आस्था, पूजा, व्रत है।
The show also reflects how India's cultural influence resonates globally.
आप दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में चले जाएं, वहां आपको भारतीय संस्कृति का प्रभाव देखने को जरूर मिलेगा। और ये प्रभाव केवल दुनिया के बड़े शहरों तक सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि इसे छोटे-छोटे शहरों में भी देखा जा सकता है। इटली के एक छोटे से शहर कैंप रोतोंडो में ऐसा ही देखने को मिला है। यहाँ महर्षि वाल्मीकि जी की प्रतिमा का अनावरण किया गया।
11 years on, Mann Ki Baat stands as a mirror to India's progress and diversity, uniting people through shared stories, fostering pride, and strengthening the spirit of collective purpose. Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
And India's Mirabai Chanu clinched a silver in the women's 48 kg category at the World Weightlifting Championship in Norway. Mirabai Chanu managed a total of 199 kg in clean and jerk event to secure second place in Fort City. Gold medal went to defending world champion Ri Song-gam of South Korea, while Thailand's Thianthorn Sukchirion won the bronze medal. The win ended India's 3-year wait for a medal in the competition. Well, India added 2 more medals to their tally at the World Para-Athletic Championship in New Delhi, with Dharambir Nain clinching silver while Atul Kaushik securing bronze. Now, the 36-year-old Dharambir produced his best in the final attempt, throwing 29.71 meters to seal silver in the men's club throw of F51 event. Serbia's Alexander Radistic struck gold, while Uldar Zilso Harib claimed a bronze. Now, earlier, India's Atul Kaushik earned a bronze medal in the men's discus throw F57 class event with an effort of 45.61 meters. Libya's Mahmoud Rajab secured gold, while Brazil's Thiago Paulino dos Santos took silver. The results took India's overall tally to 11 medals, including 4 gold, 5 silver and 2 bronze. And India will resume their innings at 121 runs with the loss of 2 wickets on the second day of the first test in Ahmedabad on Friday. Opener KL Rahul, unbeaten on 53, and captain Shubman Gill were at the crease when stumps were drawn on the first day, with India trailing by 41 runs. A depleted West Indies won the toss and opted to bat. India seamers Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah ripped through the batting lineup to claim 7 wickets between them and dismissed the tourist for 162 runs. In reply, Indian openers KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal made a solid start, adding 68 runs, but Jaiswal and Sai Sudarshan fell for 36 and 7 runs respectively. And the Mysuru Dasara drone show on Thursday dazzled spectators as 2,983 drones formed a massive tiger image, earning a Guinness World Record for the largest aerial image of a mammal. Now, the show also featured vibrant drone formations of Hindu deities and animals, blending cutting-edge technology with rich cultural motifs. The event became a standout moment of the Dasara celebrations. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.